party! Yes, he does, Daniel. Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
He's completely failed to alert me to the recent panic in our economy.
Of my boot will kick you in the teeth. And you will be cast up and thrown in the dirt and thrust back to perdition. You will not live to see another day.
Yipee-Ki-Yay, Mr. Falcon.
It's been a busy week for the Hollywood press. We've got huge mergers happening, production studios. We've got Quentin Tarantino making fun of C-list actors.
I like how that gets top billing alongside everything else going on.
It's what's going on in my mind, man.
Sure.
I mean, you heard a little bit about that. I found out something completely new about it that adds kind of a layer for me.
All right.
So I don't expect you to be following this horseshit. I wish I didn't know it, but it's been forced into my mind by the computers. But so Quentin Tarantino went on a podcast and threw shade at Paul Dano, Matthew Lillard, and Owen Wilson. That's a collection, right? But the podcast he was on was Bret Easton Ellis's podcast. You know who he is?
I don't.
He's the author of the novel American Psycho. And he wrote the book Less Than Zero, which was a movie. And yeah, it's kind of wild that it happened on his podcast, and I haven't heard that mentioned one fucking time. That's how unfamous he is. But he's famous to me.
Sure. I enjoyed American Psycho.
I read it. I read it when I was young and controversial, and I remember a kid getting kicked out of my high school for bringing it in, like to just read. They kicked him out. Like, they sent him. They didn't kick him out of school, but they sent him home for the day.
Okay, all right. I mean that's still going way too far, but like.
Yeah, well, it was
better than where I thought that went. Yeah.
It was a Jesus school, they could. They were touchy.
Right. But even still, it's not even like that was like a terribly anti-God.
No. Yeah. It was kind of an anti-human book. It's pretty fucked up. It's like the movie's fucked up. The book is deeply fucked up. That man is not okay. But thank God he has a podcast now.
Thank God.
So, I mean, poor Quentin, he's got opinions. And he's just not allowed, I guess. That's hard. No, the internet fucking did not like his opinions. I did not know Paul Dano had such fandom, but hey, there you go, man. It
feels like a collection of, maybe I'll put Owen Wilson aside for a second. It feels like the other two, it's just not terribly fair to pick on them. Like, you're going after people that are, for people who don't even know who these people are because they're not household names. You're talking about the dude that played Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movies and the other dude who played, what was the guy's name in Bad Money or whatever that movie was called, like the GameStop movie? Do you remember that?
Holy shit! Yeah, the fucking the Reddit guy.
Yeah.
No,
basically that. All right. If you ever saw
Super
There Will Be Blood, he was the one whose milkshake Daniel Day-Lewis drank.
Yeah, he's the Jesus guy, the preacher man. Yeah.
That is just not terribly fair.
No, it's not. Well, yeah.
Owen Wilson is at least an A-list actor.
Yeah, Paul Dano is like that guy. Yeah, Paul Dano is one of those that guy actors. You see his face, you're like, oh, the fucking Riddler from the Batman movie, or he's played a bunch of shit.
He played that. Holy shit!
Yeah, that was him. He was also in a. Like, it's funny because when I think of him, he kind of does annoy me a little bit in a certain way, but he's done some really good shit. He was in a movie called Prisoners with Jake Gyllenhaal and Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman.
Thank you. And he plays he's super convincing in that. People with kids, especially daughters, should never watch that movie. It will deeply upset you. But it is a depressing, really good depressing movie about abduction and what a father will go to, what lengths a father will go to, you know. But
Give me back my son.
give me back my son. But all right, Quentin was specifically talking about There Will Be Blood, which is arguably his most famous role, if you know his name.
Yeah.
So what he actually said, I had to look this up because I didn't listen. I don't listen to Bret Easton Ellis's podcast, but I had to know, right? So what he said was that there is a flaw with There Will Be Blood, and he says, and the flaw is Paul Dano. Obviously, if it's supposed to be a two-hander, and it's also so drastically obvious that it's not a two-hander, he is weak sauce. He's a weak sister. Austin Butler would have been wonderful in that role. So we can assume he got his mix of cocaine and caffeine wrong in the morning. And it's just a little like, fucking, what the fuck is he talking about? What the fuck's a two-hander? Is it like a dick thing? Is that what he's talking about? I don't know.
One can only hope you get a two-hander. You know, that's being generous.
All right, so I'm going to focus on the one thing I can interpret out of that nonsense is Austin Butler would have been wonderful in that role. All right, so he likes Austin Butler. He cast him in a movie already. It was the first place I ever saw him in anything. But so what is he? I kind of get it, all right? I think I kind of get what he's saying. So Paul Dano is supposed to be an extremely charismatic preacher in There Will Be Blood, right? And, you know, charismatic enough to get a pretty decent following, and eventually he becomes something of a con man, makes a lot of money, loses a lot of money from what we get from the ending. You expect that kind of character to be, you know, charismatic, right? And, you know, while Paul Dano plays a great role, and it's hard to play something next to Daniel Day-Lewis, but
Yeah.
you know, yeah, I get it. He's got a smarm, you know, and the character's supposed to have a smarm to him, but like he's almost like he's just like too smarmy to believe that. But then again, I've seen people follow and fall for some really smarmy fucking preacher types in real life.
Sure.
So it never really bothered me, I guess. I guess Quentin wants a more like a swaggery. I don't know what he wants, man. I'm lost. I don't get it.
This is such a random movie to
fucking
pick on. Like,
I know.
How long ago did this come out? Like 15 years ago? 20
Yeah,
years
like
ago?
Daniel Day-Lewis retired and then came out of retirement since this movie came out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it is, I mean, you know, I don't know what the context of the conversation was. They obviously got talking about it somehow. He's a director. What else are you going to talk to him about except fucking movies?
Sure.
So
I just feel like if you're gonna pick on movies, you know, pick on your own. You know, not because like they're worthy of being picked on, let's say, but because like, you know, you don't want to shit on anybody else's stuff, you know, and especially when There Will Be Blood actually is a really good movie, you know.
And if someone had to ask me, if someone came up with this bizarre question, I think There Will Be Blood would be the answer to what is the antithesis of a Quentin Tarantino movie that's still amazing, right? Like a great movie that is like as far from what he would make as you can get. And I just don't think, I think it's that movie entirely is way too understated for him. I will say Paul Dano has this thing. He's got the Tom Cruise thing in that like when he yells, he sounds really fucking weird. And it kind of makes me laugh all the time. It's the only reason I thought I could kind of understand where he was coming from is because that kind of took me out of There Will Be Blood every once in a while. That just shriek that he gets, and then when he did it every time as the Riddler, it just fucking cracked me up, man. Just cracked me up. I don't know. Paul fucking Dano. He was in The Girl Next Door. With Elijah Cuthbert and I forget the other guy's name. You never see that as like a coming of age comedy?
I weirdly saw The Boy Next Door.
No, that's a very different movie.
Is it? All
Yeah,
right.
this is like a lighthearted romp.
Oh yeah, then definitely.
It's like a coming of age movie about a porn star. It's it's kind of a weird tone for the subject matter. Like it's very Judd Apatow-ish. It's going for like an Apatow-ish, and they're seniors in high school, and a girl who, is their age moves into the neighborhood, and she's a porn actress. Like the one dude's like, yeah, I've seen her, and like, this is back in the videotape era. Like it's not internet porn. Like that's the new thing. There's a porn convention. It's funny, but he's like the nerdy friend who tags along with the kid who wants to be a director. Of course, they end up making a porno. What else would they do? It's kind of like Zack and Miri. It's got a little. Okay. They make a sex ed tape that's like with porn stars. It's kind of funny. Timothy Oliphant's in it when he's really young. He plays like a sleazebag porn director.
I love that guy.
Yeah, dude, he's one of my favorite actors. It was like right around when he made Go. He's got that like weird 90s hair and the sideburns. It was a strange face. He kind of looks like an evil elf. It's a strange time for the Oliphant. I don't know, man, but like I said, like, Quentin Tarantino picking on Matthew Lillard is some punching down shit. That's brutal, man.
I can really, I'm sure there's been millions of other movies he's been in. I can only think of the 2 Scooby-Doo movies, Scream 2, or sorry, Scream 1, Scream 1, and Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, that's all I can think of.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, and actually, and I don't know if this is saying enough about his career or his performance in that role, but after Scooby-Doo, he continued playing Shaggy in the animated stuff.
Oh, the voice? Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that.
Not eternally. It was at least like 1 or 2 projects. It might have been longer. I don't know. But they were like, you want to keep doing this? You got the voice down.
Oh, okay. I mean, if you look at his...
Is that somebody we really need Quentin Tarantino shitting on?
Man, I mean, if you look at his filmography, it's exactly what you'd expect it to be. Like, he got a couple roles right around Scream in that, teen movie era of the 90s. And then, he did Scooby-Doo for how many fucking Scooby-Doo movies were there? Jesus Christ.
2.
There's been, I
so
guess
if there's
these are all
anything
animated.
More than that in his filmography, it's the animated stuff.
Plus, he must have made a lot of money off this. He did like the voice for the arcade game. Like, damn, dude.
I mean, I don't know that there's a lot of money in that, but it's the work that he took because he's not an A-list star.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I'm looking at Hackers is the one I was struggling to remember that I knew him from.
Okay.
That was like one of the first things he was in. Scream. He was in SLC Punk. Yeah, okay. Then there's like nothing. 13 Ghosts.
The convention circuit,
Yeah.
That's why it's a weird target for like one of the biggest directors in the world.
It's fucking strange. And his response was like heartbreaking. It's pretty brutal, man. I don't know, Quentin, you gotta fucking... You're freaking out, bro. You're not doing good lately. Whatever. Hollywood's not doing good.
I can't even really say that I enjoyed The Hateful Eight or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So it's like, dude, come on.
Listen, I am a Quentin Tarantino fan. I fucking hated The Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
And I even watched the absurdly long version that's like on Netflix. It's like,
oh Jesus, there's a director's cut?
Dude, it's like 3 2-hour episodes. Like it's laborious. I mean,
I remember I went to go see that in theaters and they were plugging it as like a 70 millimeter film.
Right.
And they were like, look how gorgeous it's going to look in 70 millimeters. And it was not impressive. From either a look or the film itself.
The motherfucker shot the movie in 70 millimeter and the whole fucking thing takes place in a cabin.
Yeah.
Like just the beginning with the snowy vistas is great. And then the whole fucking thing is in a cabin for 6 hours.
You have wowed me. You have wowed me with the cinema scope of this cabin.
This big black dingus.
Yes.
Yeah, Quentin, that's fucking gold there, buddy. And you know what? I've talked about this before. I don't understand kung fu movies. I understand that there's a fandom, and I accept that.
Yeah.
But I fucking can't stand Kill Bill. Either of them.
Yeah, I wasn't really that big of a fan. I think I liked the first one more than the second one.
I think
but
I might
didn't
have liked the
really
second
like
one more
either
than the
one.
first one, but yeah, no, and because that's what he's doing. He's on the circuit for this absurd director's cut of the two movies cut together, made even
sure.
longer. So yeah, he's a bit. It's not like he's only made hits, and this whole like I'm only going to make 10 movies and retire, and I'm skipping He's getting to be a pretentious asshole.
I mean,
I know. Yeah, I know. What do you expect, right? But
I was gonna say I think he's been in that circle for a while.
Yeah, no one accused
maybe
him of
forever.
being easy to hang out with. Whatever. Fuck Quentin. All of Hollywood's weird now. Plus, it's getting weirder. What is going on with the? Can you give me just a crash course in what is happening with this Warner Brothers, Netflix, Paramount clusterfuck?
Oh wow! All right.
I know. So Netflix wanted to
Unfortunately,
buy.
by the time this airs, I'm sure this will be completely out of date. But
at
yes.
the moment,
So Warner Brothers has been in financial peril for a long time now, and I'm gonna say a lot of that has been because of their own stupid ass decisions, But what are you gonna do?
Usually how it goes. But yeah.
So we are entertaining, and by entertaining I mean we really need somebody to buy this company, Somebody's gonna pick up the IP. Some people would say that I think Paramount might have pressured them into selling, but whatever. It's time. They got to go. So there was a bidding war between several companies.
All right.
Some of which made a lot of sense. Others, you would be like, hey, that objectively is a monopoly. I think NBC Universal had their head in the water for a while there, and I was like, there's no way in hell that's going to go through. But it came down to Netflix and Paramount. And a lot of cinephiles will tell you there's a lot of doom and gloom around this, because if Paramount doesn't pick them up, then, Netflix has primarily a model outside of the movie theater ecosystem. You would know as a 4K Blu-ray fan, they don't really sell their movies. They don't really sell their shows, physically. Whereas Paramount, will tell you oh, we're absolutely committed to the theater. We're absolutely committed to the home theater market, whatever. But there are a lot of other things to consider in this bid. So Paramount wants to buy the entire company, which, includes, let's say, some things like CNN and Discovery.
HBO too, right?
Yeah. Well, HBO, both people want. When I say people, I mean Netflix wants HBO as well. So Netflix wants the movie studio and HBO. This
but not
feeds
CNN.
into their Right.
Okay.
And so they offered, what was it, 27 something per share, and that was going to be made up, cash and stock. They don't really have the full bankroll to pay 80 something billion dollars, whatever it is.
Yeah, nobody does.
Whereas Paramount has pulled together a $30 per share bid for the entirety of the company, all cash, from a number of sources that include the Ellison family, who has promised Donald Trump sweeping changes to CNN if they can. Yes, the Saudi Arabian government, who I don't know that we want. And I mean, there's a lot to this underneath the surface. And I mean, we're going to be mostly politically neutral on this, but I'm going to say, even as a cinephile, in my mind, Netflix must win this.
It kind of seems like a real lose-lose for movie fans in general.
Probably. I mean, to be honest with you, no matter who wins this, movies get the movie studios get consolidated by one no matter what.
Yeah.
Netflix, for what they're worth, have been a big movie studio. Not like in the movie theaters, but if you are an actor, they produce a lot of content. And so now there's one less game in town. And what I would say to that is, when you consolidate down these studios, you create the kind of environment where a Harvey Weinstein can rise to power. Somebody who can say, do this, or for your career.
Well,
you know?
Hollywood has long been trying to claw its way back to something resembling the old studio system where they just literally controlled actors and directors and, pulled the strings and engineered relationships and did all kinds of horrible shit. And they would love to get back to that, fuck, man. And now it's just kind of the attitude. It's the spirit of the rain, if you will, and it just seems like they're going that way no matter what. Like, how many companies control everything we see? And not only that, but the delivery system. It's a vertically integrated fucking setup they've got, and it didn't happen overnight. It happened slow, and there's this whole goddamn volume of books worth of shit that's going on just since Blockbuster folded. But goddamn, man, I'm glad I have my discs, I guess. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned just now how many companies control what we see, and I would take that a step further and say even beyond film and TV, how many large corporations are controlling everything right now? Like,
they
people
say
are
5.
Yeah, right? Like, I mean, so when we look at, there's going to be a giant antitrust case to be made, no matter which company wins this bid. And what I would say is, how many companies are out there that have the money to buy an 80-something billion company that wouldn't be considered like a conflict, or not a conflict of interest, but an antitrust situation?
Right.
It wasn't going to be Bed Bath & Beyond or Burlington Coat Factory placing a bid for this, because Warner Brothers is going out of business and the IP is going to be lucrative or, attractive to the kind of company that can put out content. There's not that many of those left.
That's true. That's very true.
I mean, we can't have Disney buying them, like, Disney, Fox. We can't have NBC, Universal, AOL, Time Warner,
God.
So, like, every streamer at this point, I think, with the exception of maybe Apple, has an associated film studio. So, like, NBC is Peacock, Amazon is MGM, Disney is Disney Plus. So, like, it makes sense for me. Paramount has Paramount Plus, or Paramount Plus has Paramount, if you want to look at it the other way around.
Has kind of been trying to just go on its own, yeah.
So it makes sense to me that they would be like, all right, we would like 1, 2, and these are the people that are up for sale at the moment,
Yeah.
Is there a lot more to it than that? Sure. Like, some people might say, when I was explaining the situation of the two bidders here, I kind of left out maybe what the nefarious Netflix bid could be. And the nefarious side of Netflix's bid could be that, like, we know that this will not get approved. And so we are going to make a bid on our biggest competitor, HBO, and say for the next 2 years or so, they can't really do a whole lot without us, in the conversation.
Right. I've read that too. Yeah. The idea is to paralyze them. Because while all this is happening, they can't make certain moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no matter who wins this, it's not ideal. But,
yeah. No one's got good intentions here,
Yeah.
All right. So, go ahead.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So, like I said, there's a lot of doom and gloom about the end of old Hollywood here. And what I would ask is that such a terrible thing?
Well,
if the movie theater experience was truly great in 2025, 2026, would Netflix be able to buy out Warner Brothers,
I think, that's very interesting. And I think you got to ask a couple deeper questions, too, that go to the root of it. And and these are kind of forbidden topics for people who are supposed to love movies, right? But
Sure.
So what was the reason for the movie theater in the first place? So there was a couple things, right? It was impossible for people to get that experience in their home, even deep into the era of television. We were just talking about this recently, of what a big TV was considered, even when we were kids. Yeah. And they were small screens with shitty sound, unless you had the money to put out for a really expensive system. And even then, the sound might have been good, but it wasn't great. And the screens were a joke. Even if you had a projector set up, you weren't going to get the experience you got in a theater, right?
But even before that, correct me if I'm wrong, the theatrical experience predates television.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I meant. Like even like everyone worried.
Like even before we're talking about like good TVs, or like big TVs. Yeah.
And like they were worried about this when the TV came along. They said it's going to kill theaters. Well, it didn't, because it took TVs a long time to get to where they are now. And the other part of the reason movie theaters existed were because that's what people were used to. They were used to theaters. They were used to going to theaters to see a performance in a group. Like, it was part of culture. It was just not American culture, world culture, human culture, and it just made sense. Right. And that's how the technology worked at the time. So it just all kind of came together. Right. Well, all of that is fucking changed. So, like, what is the attraction of going to a theater now? The gigantic screen. Well, yeah, all right, man, but, like, there's only a few places in the theater you can sit where you get the full effect of the giant screen. IMAX is a different story. That's a completely... I'm just talking about your regular average, Thursday night fucking matinee for some, whatever. It's just not worth it for a lot of people. The tickets keep getting more expensive. The theaters are shittier because they sure as hell don't have the money to put in to keep upkeep in the theater. If the lights were all up, Jesus Christ, you might not want to sit there, right? They're all old. A lot of them are closing down. I mean, and well, the one by me, the concession stand is barely even open. They have fucking popcorn and goobers. There's they got advertisements for hot dogs from like 8 years ago. They don't make them no more. And the other concession counter is just completely closed. They don't even have a fucking ticket booth anymore at that theater. You go to the concession stand to get your goddamn ticket if you buy a ticket, which no one does because they get it on their phone.
Yeah, and I don't even get the physical ticket anymore. I went to go see Back to the Future 2 in theaters last year for the 2025 for the anniversary. And I was so depressed that, I only got the QR code on my phone, so I couldn't keep the ticket,
And I admit this. I'm old. I will go to the theater to see a movie from my youth that I didn't get to see in the theater.
That's coming around to be the only time I go to the theater, except for when I bring my daughter for something.
You know what I think it is? I think it's because, and this sounds so old too, but it's because if you're going to put out that much money to go out and do something, you want to know you're not going to hate it.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing.
I think that's 100% why the Marvel movies have done so well.
Yeah, at least
it's a safe bet.
Unless you're going to see Kraven the Hunter.
Sure.
Apparently.
Yes. Oh my fucking God. I want to shit all over that. I don't know if I want to go down that rabbit hole. But
I know, but
first
also
of all,
it's another.
I didn't go to see Kraven the Hunter in the theater because I knew that would not be a safe bet.
This is a recent thing that happened to you. Yeah. No, but no, it matters because that's why I think Marvel is losing its grip. It's not that guaranteed experience anymore like it was during phase 1 and 2. And that kept theaters alive. The event movie came back for a little while. The Star Wars sequel premieres. I know me and a group of my friends, we went for years in a row, went on Christmas night to the movies to see whatever new Star Wars movie just came out. Because in between the main ones, they put out the, whatever side movies.
Yeah. And Rogue One and Solo.
Yeah. And we dude, it was something cool to do with your friends, and it got you out of the fucking family obligation. And now we got to go do something with our friends. We're leaving. John, get the coats. Get the coats. The fucking coats. But I feel like that is going away. And Jesus Christ, man, if you watch the new movies that come out, when they come out on streaming, it's like... it's a 30-minute test every time. Like, I'm turning this fucker off. I just can't do it. Or you zone the fuck out and you realize you just stared at your phone through the entire second half of the movie. Like had happened with me with that Mark Wahlberg movie where he's bald and it all takes place in a goddamn Cessna plane. Flight risk, maybe? I don't fucking know. Jesus Christ. It's so, oh my God. I don't know.
I think the experience is evolving, you know, for what it's worth. Like, you know, we don't really, I mean, yes, they exist, but we don't really have drive-in movie theaters anymore. You know, like
they're
maybe,
a rarity. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the experience evolves. And as the experience evolves, you know, it's not like from the film's fans' perspective, it's not like we're not making movies anymore. They're still going to make the movies. It's just, like you said, it's a different bet when I got to go pay, what are we up to now? $20 a ticket for a movie.
Yeah.
And if I bring my kid and I bring my wife and we buy the food, we're looking at like $100 a day, you know, versus like, all right, you know, I'm on Netflix at home. I can pause the thing when I got to go pee. I can grab, you know, food from the kitchen, you know,
I got
like
a giant fucking TV. I'm sitting in the right spot. There isn't some asshole band of teenagers hanging out in the back of the theater doing what I used to do and being assholes. There's screaming children at an R-rated movie. There's, you know,
which is the other thing. When you think about it,
people romanticize that shit just like they do Blockbuster these days. They forget how much going to the movies sucks sometimes. You know? Yeah,
like the whole idea is that you're supposed to be seeing this movie in a group setting. Like we are going, even if not together in the sense that I am in a room full of people experiencing the movie together. And if I can't get behind that concept, and I can't anymore, then what is the point of doing it? Like, you know, like
like there was this conceit. There's this like, and I think it's a carryover from actual theater because there's a conceit among the audience. Like there's people up on stage performing, shut the fuck up. Like everyone shuts the fuck up and pays attention. Right. And that carried over for a while, you know, for most normal people, there's always assholes in the movie theater. Right. But now, like we said, it's more of a fucking investment. You know, so something that would have been a minor, like, oh, well, it's our $25 family outing ruined, assholes. Now it's like you're really fucking pissed, you know? And
I mean, every little thing pisses me off. Like, you're on your phone in the movie theater, it pisses me off. You're cackling in a way that, like, I don't like the sound of your laugh, or you're laughing too often, or you're talking. Like, you know, I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Also, look, I loved going to the movies. I have gone to many movies, and there is something really cool about an audience gasping all at the same time or laughing genuinely all at the same time. Like that is definitively the magic of going to the movies. But that requires that audience participation. Like everyone has to be fucking into it, at least enough to shut the fuck up and laugh when they're supposed to fucking laugh, right? And these days that's just getting harder and harder. And without that, what's the fucking point?
And I can only say in an ideal scenario, there's only been like 3 or 4 movies in my entire life where the experience of the audience actually added to it. And you never watched the Twilight movies, right?
Oh, I've been exposed to them. No, I haven't seen them all, but I have definitely seen the fucking first one.
So Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2, which is the last Twilight movie, had to have been the best experience I ever had in a theater.
I could see that.
Oh my God.
Did it play like a comedy?
No. So what happens in the end,
is that the one with the creepy baby with the CG face? I've seen that part.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a point where all of the good guy vampires and all of the bad guy vampires come face to face, and they have like this giant battle royal.
Vamp off.
Vamp off. And it begins with one of the family members of the good guys having his head ripped off and thrown on the ground. And what was great about that is that it does not happen in the book. And I was there at like an early enough showing, like I don't know if it was a midnight showing or if it was like opening weekend, but like the women in that theater were losing their fucking minds. Like holy shit. Like, and I didn't read the book, but you could tell from the theater, this was not supposed to happen.
Like they expected most of this shit. They did not expect that.
They did not expect that at all. And like, it was like a visceral reaction. It was amazing.
Oh, that's
amazing.
Good. That's great. That's great.
Yoda igniting his lightsaber in episode 2 was a big one. Andrew Garfield stepping out in not brand new day, whatever that one was.
What?
Long Way Home, No Way Home, right? Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. You lost me for a second.
Andrew Garfield steps out of that little portal, and we're like, holy shit, he's here! That was huge. And conversely, on home theater, when there's that 10-second pause for the audience to lose their bananas, but now it's just silence in your home. It's a little awkward.
Yeah.
But yeah, like sometimes there's been like a positive experience, but usually I'm just like, yo, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I remember Phantom Menace, the lightsaber battle at the end.
Oh yeah.
When I went to see that the first time, no one was looking at each other. Like everyone was just so deep into it, and like everyone has the same reaction, like a wave. It's just fucking. It can be cool, but yeah, dude, it's the few and far betweens, and let's be honest. Throughout our entire lives, all technology has been doing is racing to an eventual end where you just don't need the theater anymore for the actual, presentation of the movie. Like.
Yeah, I don't even really feel like they're trying anymore.
No.
There's nothing, like even the 3D, I mean, I guess that ran its course, but 3D was at least something you couldn't really do at home.
That was kind of
and then
fun,
they gave
too.
it to us at home. Yeah, and then, they kind of phased that out. And
Yeah,
I don't
what
know.
happened? I was enjoying that for a minute when it got really good. I saw, I think, the second new Star Trek movie in 3D, and that was fucking rad, dude. That was a blast. And then
There were some really good ones. And I was a fan of 3D long before the revival, like the Avatar thing. And when that happened, I was thrilled, like it got a little much when it was like every single movie. I think like things need to be kind of special. And
it has to
pull
justify
it.
it. It needed to justify it, and you do have it has to be movie has to be made with that in mind in a certain way. Like there has to be certain shots that make the whole thing rewarding, wearing the stupid glasses and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they started doing it to like comedies that had no business having anything in 3D, just like the first wave of 3D. There was these goofy movies. Like they really thought this, wow, all right, that's a gimmick. That's an interesting choice for this.
I remember Michael Jackson's "This Is It" was in 3D, and I was like, "This is a documentary about a concert. Why does this need to be in 3D?"
Yeah, that 3D era spanned the gamut, right? Because there was like the Jason 3D movies, like the whole spectrum of movie budgets.
Yeah,
tried something in 3D. I don't know. But look, think about the stakes that were involved when we were just when we were in our early 20s with the movies. What was it with the student ID? What, $4 to go to the movies?
Oh yeah, it was very cheap. Yeah.
Like it's a different. I think that's just what we're getting at. Like the cost really does matter because it makes the experience different. It makes what you want out of it different. It makes what you expect different. And when you're disappointed, you're pissed. Like,
yeah, and I mean it makes me less risk of less risk averse, or it makes me more risk averse, I guess you would say. Like
that one, I think.
Because I want to see great films. Believe me, I do. But I don't want to take the risk. Because, like, okay, a drama can be amazing. It can also be terrible.
Yeah.
And to take that risk, because there's more, like
look,
indie
man,
dramas than there are, like, amazing ones.
And I think something that streaming and modern television has done is it's made people realize they have an appetite for longer stories. But that doesn't mean you can sit in a fucking theater for 5 hours and enjoy that long story. But you can do that at home. Like the new mini series, like the limited series is a pretty interesting format. It's what the mini series always wanted to be. And it's kind of like I dig there's a lot of shit, but there's some really good stuff, man. And it's kind of like being able to experience a novel-sized movie at home. And, for people who want it, you can have a pretty big fucking TV these days, man. And like you get a decent sound bar and a woofer and you're in business. It's, compared to what we had, the little fucking 5-inch speaker embedded in the bottom of the Sony. I don't know what to expect from, but that means I don't know who to root for. So I guess, I'm going to root for Netflix. They're building movie studios over here on the East Coast. So
in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, that's my goal. Yeah. I'm just going to go work for Netflix. I'm going to be a key grip or something. What does a key grip do? Do I grip keys? What does he do?
Set up lights.
Oh, I
Set
get
Up
gaffer
Lights.
tape? Fucking A, man. Isn't that a gaffer? Thought that was a gaffer. I got to look up Hollywood terms. Fuck.
Yeah, the key grit. No, I know this from, aside from, making shit for a living. I know this from the Tom Wilson question song. What does a key grip do?
Yeah.
Set up lights. What does a
don't
best
know.
boy do? Help the key grip.
Oh, I forgot about that song. Kind of weird.
Exactly.
Dude, we say that every time we see Crispin Glover anywhere. That's
It's
just we say
100%
to each
true.
other. It's amazing. I love that song.
Yeah.
I love that. I know a guy who's married to his niece. To what's his name? Brian
Tom Wilson, not
Tom
Crispin
Wilson.
Glover. Yeah.
Tom Wilson's niece. Yeah. When they got married, there was a slight chance he was going to show up to the wedding. And we went to the wedding, and Biff did not show the fuck up. And I had never forgiven them.
It's a beauty that we know him as the bad guy. He's allowed to disappoint us and still be okay.
He's fucking hilarious. I honest to God, though, I think I know I've seen him as in bit parts and other stuff, but I couldn't name anything. Not a goddamn thing.
Yeah, he's in SpongeBob, right?
Is he? Oh, good for him. Him and Clancy
Yeah.
Brown. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I want to say.
Oh my God. Oh, dude, I don't know. I get sad when I think about it. You know, it's funny, and I've kind of hinted on this before, and it's like you want to think about films and TV almost as a form of art, right? Many people do, and in many
Absolutely.
ways they are. But there's never been an art form where the experience of it seems to be negligible. You know what I mean? Like this, for example, a movie was made to be seen on a giant screen with a big sound system with that in mind. And it's like, yeah, well, it's cool. We can just watch it on TV,
Sure. Okay.
It's like, the best way to experience a Van Gogh painting is, you can look at it on your phone. It's cool.
Yeah.
That's good enough. Right? Like no one says that, like who cares about art, but it's always seemed like no one really gives a shit when it comes to movies. Like they used to just take them out of theaters and
Sure.
then they would just go away. Like
Yeah.
before TV came around, they would just go away. Or they'd go to like shitty movie theaters in the middle of nowhere, for matinee showings. But like,
I mean, the
it was
quality
almost
ones
like a
would get
disturbing.
rerun.
Yeah, but it was almost like a disposable art form for a long time until they figured out a way to make money on it after its theater run when TV came around. And then it was like, fuck it, pan and scan, make it square, whatever.
And it's also worth saying there's no other art form that costs this much money to make and is therefore scrutinized by the people who bankroll it as much as film is these days.
Okay, all right. That makes me think of something I meant to talk about. Okay, and it goes back to what the whole thing, the whole start of this whole thing. All right. So no matter what, these giant companies are going to be controlling the major output of Hollywood shit.
Yeah.
And doing whatever with it, right? Well, okay. So going back to the era of our youth, the indie film era, right? The two biggest barriers to entry were distribution and the physical cost of making the films. Okay? Now, today, what we would have thought of then as an indie movie, primarily a character, story-driven movie, not a lot of special effects, not a lot of sets, maybe filmed illegally, on location. Doing a movie like that is fucking free, basically, now. Like, you could do it with a phone. You invest $1,000, you could have quality audio and really decent looking. You could film it the way you want it to look, pretty much. Right. So that barrier to entry doesn't exist anymore. You don't have to rent fucking cameras and pay for film and worry about how many feet you have left.
Yeah.
That's a thing of the past. And distribution, that's my question. Do you think once shit becomes so homogenized and shittier than it is now, do you think that there's going to be a way for people to just put make fucking movies. Like real actors who get fed up with it and can only make shit are going to go make what we would think of today as a YouTube movie, but I don't say YouTube because, YouTube's part of it all. So that's all on lockdown anyway. So that's like, can the internet do that still? I still have, new internet brain where I'm like, yeah, well, it'll just find another avenue, but the internet's on lockdown now. It's not what it used to be. Like, is that even possible?
Is it possible? Yes. Is it
likely
going to happen? Probably not. And the reason is because you're not the only person who can make a movie, and you're not the only person trying. Like how many? Let's use YouTube as an example because even though you said YouTube doesn't count, that's at least the first place I would think of to put my movie if I didn't have like natural distribution channels. There's like 1 billion videos to watch on YouTube. And while, yes, some stuff does kind of float to the top,
all right, so
your movie probably won't.
It's just like podcasts. It's just like podcasts. Yeah. There's 5 million fucking podcasts. And when we were kids, you needed a radio station to do this.
And I mean, when a celebrity makes one, yes, you hear about it.
Yeah.
But like, you or I.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Fuck. That's depressing. Isn't that fucking depressing? The 2 biggest barriers to entry are gone. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter.
Well, okay. To be fair, you say like you can get an iPhone and $1,000 worth of audio equipment and you're going to be good. I don't know that that's the case, only because I've seen some stuff that looks super amateurish come from people who
if you're
ought to have
talented,
been able to do better.
You think so? Okay. Well, I guess,
so
I have our last conversation on my mind, and I was thinking like something like Clerks.
Well, okay, so I was going to reference Kevin Smith, but not Clerks.
Okay.
So Clerks is a different animal because, he was fresh out of college. He charged $27,000 on a credit card and did what he could. But one of his last couple of movies, Kilroy Was Here, which was a movie that he made for, the NFT exclusive bullshit that they did.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That looked amateurish as fuck. And Kevin Smith is somebody who ought to have access to, professional cameras and professional sound equipment. And even if he didn't, and we're willing to say that, like, you could do it with an iPhone. I know they did it with, 28 years later, I guess, was done on an iPhone, allegedly.
Right. Allegedly, yeah. In a gimbal, not just like a fucking phone in your hand, but yeah.
Exactly, yeah. There's some asterisks. 60 iPhone asterisk.
My point is, like, you can buy what you need on Amazon to do it. And you don't even have to use a phone. Like, you can get a decent camera. Like, you're not spending no $27,000 to shoot Clerks today. You know what I mean? Not even in today dollars. It's just not necessary. But my point is, I guess there really was never really an inherent appetite for that kind of content, or people are getting that itch scratched in different ways through different things that aren't movies. Because also we had 2 fucking choices when we were younger. We had movies and TV. There's a lot of shit that falls deeply in between now, and most of it is YouTube.
I can't even tell you how many TikTok videos my wife watches a day. She doesn't watch them on TikTok. They're like Reels and, Instagram and Facebook.
They invade you.
It's all the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, yeah. I haven't watched an episode of SNL in God knows how long. I have watched many SNL sketches on YouTube. Like
I exclusively watch SNL on YouTube.
Yeah,
I've never watched it.
It's the only safe way to do it. And like when I need to feel like in a good mood, I go watch like a super cut of Bill Hader impressions and shit, and I feel better, But that's a whole different way to consume anything, And I think, it's just all changed, man. The old labels don't matter anymore. It's going to be a rough time for people who like the traditional format of movies. It's going the way of the novel.
I don't know. I think that the movie theater experience will always be here.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't know that it will be as big and prevalent as it is now. We have drive-in movie theaters still. I've gone.
There's a couple in
last,
Jersey, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there. I think there's one in Jersey and one just outside of Jersey.
Yeah, I know there's one in Vineland.
Walnutport, I want to say, is the name of the town.
Okay.
I go to Becky's like a few times a year. Weirdly, I probably see more movies in a drive-in theater than I do at the regular theater.
No, that makes sense to me. If I knew the procedure and I had gone before, we would probably make the trek for important
We started
movies.
during COVID because it was like a decent way, right. And they were showing movies like you said, like I saw Ghostbusters 1 in the theater, in the drive-in theater.
Oh, that must have been awesome.
It was awesome, and like they started doing that more where like, okay, they would pair a classic movie with something that's in theaters now. And so I could be like, oh, I could check out, Ghostbusters and then see this new thing too, and it wasn't like, you see the original Ghostbusters, see Ghostbusters Answer the Call. It'd be like the new Vacation or something, at the time.
Yeah, weird
like,
pairing.
Yeah, a weird pairing for sure. But like, still like, a lot of times it was so cheap we didn't even stay for the second movie half the time, but
right.
It was still a cool experience. So that experience is still there, and I guarantee you that if you look for it, the movie theater experience will be there. It's just not going to be as, one in every town as it is now,
Well,
and maybe that's not a terrible thing.
Well, what also isn't there the potential for, I guess, what you would call like pop-up movie theaters? Like, what is it anymore other than a projector and a giant screen? Like, how much different is a projector that you can just set up from a movie theater projector? A digital one.
I would hope that if movie theaters are going to stay around, then it becomes more of a special thing. Like, it becomes more of an event. Like, I'm not going to say it needs to be, what is that, the Sphere thing that they've been doing lately?
Yeah, in Vegas, yeah.
But, like, it should be a quality experience,
Well, they do it. Like, I know there's watch parties and they basically show Jaws on a giant screen and people are floating in a lake, and they do that. It's
a fantastic idea.
Yeah, they do one for Friday the 13th at the place where they filmed the original in Jersey. They do an outdoor showing of that. They do a Twister one, like there's a bunch of I know they show movies in old churches. They rent them out and they use it for that, which is kind of cool.
Interesting acoustics for it.
Yeah. And a lot of them have sound systems built in and shit. It works. I don't know. When we were when I was in high school, there was a thing called Exhumed Films, based in Philly, and their whole thing was they showed obscure shit in old movie theaters, and it was like special event nights, so you'd hear about it and you go to it. I remember I went and saw Heavy Metal, or the animated.
Heavy Metal.
Yeah, I saw a double feature of that and Pink Floyd's The Wall. Man, what a fucking weird, and it would always late at night, like the first movie would start.
Were you sober for that?
No. Not by the end.
Right?
Not by the end, no. But like the first movie would start at 10 o'clock at night. It was perfect for us in the summer as teenagers. Jesus Christ, with cars. Oh my God, dude. But yeah, I saw a lot of weird old movies there, and it was like I never knew that would be such a thing under different names and guises. Because I've seen First Blood in the theater. You've seen some. What did we go see? Terminator 2?
Terminator 2.
Yeah. I saw
They brought that back for 3D, and I was like, I don't care how good the 3D is. This is an excuse to go see it in theaters.
Yeah.
Because I was too young to have seen that theatrically when it came out. Yeah.
I saw Ninja Turtles, the original, in the theater not long ago. I think that was the last old one I saw in the theater. I like that, but that's just our generation. And once we're done, how many people are left who are going to give a shit about memories of going to the theater or wanting to see old movies? And let's face it, man, people suck. They're not getting much better. I'd rather just stay at home.
Okay, so we have a lot of nostalgia around those movies. We have a lot of nostalgia around the movie theater experience in general, so combining them is great. For kids now, they're not going to have that nostalgia about the movie theater
Right.
experience. So even if you were to take a movie that they would have nostalgia for, like 15 years from now, if somebody tells my daughter you can go see K-pop Demon Hunters in theaters, she's going to be like, I would love to see K-pop Demon Hunters again, but I don't need to see it at the movie theater.
Yeah.
They put it in theaters recently, just I guess for the sake of maybe getting in the Oscar nominations, but no,
Well, I think it's hard for people to accept because it does go back so many generations now. Like it's 100 years people have been going to the theater, almost roughly. That's a lot of generations of a common experience that, it's tough when something like that falls out of favor and just kind of naturally starting to go away. People struggle and they want to hold on to it. And yeah, I don't know how it's going to become a very boutique thing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they have themselves to blame.
Yeah, 100% they do. Absolutely.
Even the time, like the timing of it, we gotta, like those free movie tickets you get, like, go see this movie for $12 off because you bought this thing,
Yeah.
We got one of those for The Wild Robot when that came out. I don't know if you saw it. If you are a parent, this will make you sob. Like it is a kid's movie that is intended to drive the knife into parents and just twist as hard as they can,
Ooh,
So
right.
anyway, the Wild Robot made something like $2 million theatrically. It was an embarrassment. It was available to buy on like iTunes and Vudu and all that. I think it was within weeks of being in the theater. And that's like a bad situation. Even in the good situations, it's like 3 to 4 months, whereas it used to be kind of a longer period,
Oh, yeah.
And so like, if I know in a few weeks, I'm going to be able to watch this at home, that part of the, the necessity to go out to the theater, to be part of that zeitgeist. Like, okay, if there's a new Star Wars movie and I'm afraid that people are going to like ruin it, talk about it, I'm not going to be able to be part of the conversation, maybe I go to the theater. But if I can get the idea that like within a month or two it's going to be at home, maybe I don't care as much,
Yeah, absolutely.
And they did that
you
to
think
themselves,
about it. You can't help but think about it that way. I mean, what else are you going to do? I'm looking up the last few movies I went to go see just to see what's going on with me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think Superman was the last movie that I went to go see for myself, no, not for the kid, nothing like that. And not like a nostalgic thing that was, because I remember I saw Back to the Future 2 pretty recently, but
Right.
yeah.
Well,
It doesn't happen often anymore, and I'm okay with that.
yeah. I mean, fuck, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's just sad, but things move on, man. What are you going to do?
I used to try to see all, 9-10 movies that got nominated for Best Picture theatrically every year.
Really? In the theater? I didn't know that. I knew
Yeah.
you tried to watch them at least before the awards.
Yeah. And I mean, the easiest at the time, that I was doing it, the easiest way to do that was to go see them in theaters, because they would, sometimes they would give it like, a discount. Sometimes there would be like an event, like AMC would, have a thing where you pay like a certain amount of money and they'll show all 10 of them across 2 days. And you can go. There's no way I would do that now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you also need to have the time.
Yeah.
That's a lot of, oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, man. I didn't think this was going to be so depressing. It's pretty depressing.
But it doesn't have to be depressing. Like nothing is really going away. Things are evolving in a way, commiserate with the way that we are engaging with media right now.
I do enjoy watching movies in my 4K TV at home.
Yeah.
I truly do. And I really love watching old movies that have been restored and updated. And, it's, you can't do that in the theater. And a lot of the theaters around here.
Oh, they can do it. They have done it.
No,
I feel like they've dropped the ball with it a lot. Like, you hear about like, okay, this movie's been restored in 4K and it's being shown in theaters. And then you find out that they just used like an AI algorithm to upscale it. And it's like, well, that's not what you needed to do for this, Like, I don't know. And sometimes, admittedly, it comes out really well, but it's not something that's going to make it special for me to go out to the movie theater to hear that you did an AI upgrade on your movie,
Man, I went to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I went to see it 3 times, actually. Don't ask me why. But one time, the sound actually wasn't synced.
Yeah.
And it drove me fucking crazy through the whole fucking movie.
And that's going to really affect how you liked. I mean, it wasn't the first time you were seeing it.
It was the second time, yeah. It really pissed me off, though, because, it wasn't any cheaper the second time. It was a different theater. It wasn't any cheaper. Like I'm saying, they're not maintaining them. It's like you can't even guarantee that you're going to get a good viewing experience. Didn't you tell me you went and saw a movie that was out of focus? Interstellar, wasn't it?
Yeah, Interstellar.
Yeah. And that was
and
back when
I've never
movies
liked the movie since.
See?
Gladiator was another one. I went to the theater. It was a shitty theater in Florida, and there was like a busted speaker that was kind of crackling,
yeah.
And it was like 120 degrees in that theater. Ugh. And I was just dying for that movie to end. And since then, I mean, I've heard that a lot of people really like that Gladiator movie.
Yeah, a few people liked it. Yeah,
it had its fans, from what I understand.
Don't watch the sequel.
Stand it.
Don't see the sequel.
I didn't have a good enough experience with part 1 to think that a movie 20 years later was going to be any better. But
I mean, that's a whole different topic. But Jesus Christ, that's one of those movies that's in a special category of I used to really like it a lot, and then I could try to watch it now. I'm like, what the fuck was wrong with me?
Yeah, right.
It's really not that good, to be honest, man. Like, it was cool at the time because no one had ever seen any shit like that before. But now, after there's been fucking Lord of the Rings and, Game of Thrones out the ass type shit, you look at it and like, man, the story, other than all the cool costumes and the CGI Coliseum and shit, like the story sucks. It just
I was ahead of my time.
Yeah, you were. It's like a weaker version of Spartacus,
The Dark Knight Rises was another one, and it was nothing against the theater. It was just I went to go see it at midnight, and I was fighting to stay awake at like 2 o'clock in the morning watching it, and that'll affect it too, So
I remember I went to go see Die Hard with a Vengeance, the third one.
Vengeance. That is a great movie. I love that one.
I do love the movie. I went to see it the first time in a place called the Lumberton 2. It was literally 2 goddamn theaters next to each other in a strip mall, and there were crickets in the theater for the entire movie, and you could hear the sound. You could hear the audio from the other theater. You're talking about
literal crickets, not like the audience wasn't getting into it.
There were also 6 people, including us, me and my buddy, and there were crickets, and you could definitely hear the audio from the other theater just through the wall.
Wow.
It was. I was young enough. I didn't give a shit. I was at the theater without my parents watching a movie that said "fuck a lot," and shit blew up. That's a great movie. I try to watch that in the summer.
Is a good enough movie to overcome whatever shortcomings there were.
Absolutely.
That could have been the crackly speaker and the out of focus and the 2 o'clock in the morning, and I still would love that movie to this day.
Dude. Fucking A. It doesn't get enough play. It doesn't. It's like an almost perfect thriller action movie. It's fantastic.
Oh my God.
I'm so glad they didn't go with the original ending and that ridiculous ending.
I don't know how it was supposed to end. I just know how it does. Yeah.
It's disgraceful. They filmed it and everything. Like, there's a time skip. There's a time jump. The bad guys get away. And then there's a time jump, and like John McClane has been fired as a cop and shit, and he ends up tracking down Jeremy Irons, I think in a bar or something, and he fucking shoots him with a rocket launcher.
All right.
Like in the chest. Wow. And they decided to go with the helicopter ending instead, which was a wise choice, I think. That's a summer movie for me, man. I gotta watch that like when it's starting to get disgustingly hot and you can't leave the air conditioning. You put on Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Absolutely no notes. I don't know why they followed that up with 2 god awful movies, but
I'm okay with the Justin Long, Timothy Oliphant one.
Kevin Smith. It's all right.
I'm okay with it.
The one after that is atrocious.
Unwatchable. Ungoddamn. The Jai Courtney one, right? Unfucking watchable. Yeah. But at least the Justin Long one isn't hot garbage. But
Yeah.
fuck, man, the second one is horrible too. Let's fucking be honest. Die Hard 2
I really
is
don't know
really
how
bad.
this series gets as much love as it gets, but
Because the original is just so fucking good, I guess.
Yeah.
And the third one was great. I love the
third
third
one,
one.
the third one is actually my favorite. I've seen the third one like so many times. I've seen the first one like once or twice. So.
Okay, well, I've seen them.
All right, maybe a couple more than once or twice, but not like that many. Yeah.
That was one of the first box sets I ever got on VHS, like as a box.
I remember
set.
that box set. Yeah.
With the 3, yeah. When it was 3, when it was but 3. They made 2 more? There's 5?
Die Hard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's Live Free or Die Hard and A Good Day to Die Hard.
Yeah, okay. I was hoping there wasn't a 7th awful one I wasn't remembering. Whew, boy. All right, I don't know how we got there, but we got there.
Me either. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Paul Dano.
Oh, you know what it was? Like shitty theater experiences,
Yes,
ruining your, love of the
was it.
film. You had a bad experience with Die Hard 3, but still love the movie because you can't not love Die Hard 3.
I have to confess something too. I have bought tickets to movies and just fucking not gone now. Because you buy it on your phone and then like a week later it comes around. Like it used to be like, hey, we're going to go to the movies.
Jesus.
You go to the fucking movies, right? Well, a week later, like shit came up and fucking you ended up working till 6 o'clock and like it's just not working the fuck out, bro. And like I get a refund. You know what I mean? Like I get the refund.
All right.
And like, because it's like, yeah, I'm not going to make it. And they give you your refund. And it's just, it's a different impetus, if you will. Like, we used to be like, hey, let's go to the movies. You go to the movies, you buy a ticket, hope they're not sold out, and hope that you get there, like, within a 20-minute window of a time. But, that's just not, you pick your seat now,
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. The more little things you change, the more the whole fucking picture changes.
Something I wanted to talk about too, that there was no like great organic place to talk about this, but do you remember Movie Pass?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it was
This
like
was an attempt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it was like getting a subscription to the movies,
Yeah.
And
Flat rate
everything that they did to try to stomp that out of the ground as quickly as they could. But it was an attempt to make movies relevant again, because there was this idea, like, let's just say that the barrier to entry is the cost and the risk aversion, and saying like, I'm not going to plunk down $20 to go see, this movie Anora, like, I don't know, like that winds up being like picture of the year. But when you're judging what to see, it's like, do I want to take a risk on this? Movie Pass was an attempt to make that like the Netflix experience. Like, all right, well, I can go to the movie theater 3 times this week. Why not check out Anora one of the times? Why not,
right. Yeah. Because
and they did everything they could to stomp that in the ground.
I remember hearing about it and thinking like, wow, that's a really great idea. I'll probably sign up for that when that becomes a big thing. And it just fucking vanished. It just fucking vanished. And the rates were never like, they were okay, but also, I know myself. I'm like, I'm not going to go to the movies enough to justify that.
It's the gym scam,
Yeah,
like
exactly. Like if I lived like, right next to it, but any theater for me is a 20-minute drive at least if things are okay. I don't know, man. Fuck it. Fuck the movies. Fuck the theater.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like every attempt there's been to make this a better experience has just gotten stomped out.
Didn't you go to one of them fancy theaters? One of them fancy theaters where they give you dinner? They give you dinner and beer.
They stopped doing it. Well, you can get beer still. But yes, the dine. What did they call it? It wasn't wine and dine. I don't remember what they called it. But yes, it was an AMC dine-in experience. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It was amazing when they first started doing that. I went to go see.
Shitty.
I still remember Black Swan. Well, they kind of stopped doing it. Like, yes, I can still have. I can still order food and they'll bring it out. But and yes, there's still the Lazy Boy. But I don't know. Like, and yes, all right. So maybe it is just the same as it was. But
yeah, every theater's got recliners
no.
now.
Right. But all right. So what you can't do, I can order like a milkshake, a soda, a popcorn, the pretzel bites, like the standard, movie theater food. They don't do like the burgers and the chicken fingers and all that anymore, you know, where they'll bring that out to you, which was really cool.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Because then it's not, you're not just going to the movies. You're literally going for dinner and a movie.
Yeah.
Dinner and a show at the same time.
And I didn't have to get up. Like, that's always something I hated. Like, I have to get up and leave the movie and miss however much of it to order food and get it. They would bring it to you, which was amazing.
Do they bring you a urinal so you can piss? Or because that'd be awesome, like a hose.
And because there was a call button to call a waiter, that meant there was a call button to be like, yo, can you get that jackass to shut the fuck up? You know?
Sweet. It's like being in that special section at the baseball game. That's fucking cool.
I've never gotten to sit at the special section of the baseball game. Is there a button to say, get this jackass to shut the fuck up?
Yeah, you get like dudes are just standing there waiting for you to like look around like you need something.
Nice.
The only reason I know my buddy won a couple tickets in a raffle at work for the nice section at the Phillies game, like right behind home plate. I forget what it's called, like the Diamond Club or some shit. Like you're not in a box, they're in regular seats, but it's in a really sweet section. And dude, like someone opened and held the door open for us when we got to our entrance to the stadium. Yeah, like an employee. There was minions. We had our own bar and like concession stand for our section, and dudes would come down with little iPads, and you could just order whatever you want, booze, anything, and they just bring it to you. It cost an arm and a fucking leg, and I think the tickets would have been like $400 a piece, which is why that is the only time I'll ever see that. But yeah, that would have been cool in a movie.
I mean, I know that they kind of phased it out, I think, because people were complaining about the cost, because you had to order food. It wasn't like, you know, the option is there. I think we paid, it was like 30. I know we paid like $75 total. It might've been like 35 a person. Yeah. And then like, you know, you were paying a certain amount for the movie, and then a certain amount was applied to your food order, but you had to make that food order. Yeah. You know,
it's weird. So it's kind of like you're going to a restaurant, but they show a movie. Like, that's the expectation. All right.
I mean, the one thing that was really cool, you mentioned the beer. The fact that they had the liquor meant that like people under a certain age were not admitted without a parent.
See, that's
which
good.
Meant yes.
That's good. Yeah.
Yes.
The old man and he likes that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these kids don't fucking want to go to the movies anymore.
Exactly.
You know, we weren't going to the movies to go to the movies all the time. Fuck it.
Ooh.
What? Ooh. Well, you know, it was a dark room. What are you going to do?
It was not as dark as you think it was. I worked in a movie theater.
No, it wasn't.
I worked in a movie theater, and I can tell you that everybody that pulled that shit, the entire staff got called over to be like, look at this.
Were you a usher? Or were you the ticket?
What would you call me? I was the guy who cleaned the movie theater, and I did concession stand a lot.
Okay. All right.
I was really good at selling those like souvenir cup things.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I actually believed in the product. I would tell people like, look, if you come to the movie theater often enough, get the stupid cup, and then we'll refill it for like 50 cents or whatever it is, versus like paying $4 every single time you come. And so like every time I was on the concession, like they would think there was a mistake. They were like, wait, did he really sell 50 of those stupid cups today? You know?
Then you're just pushing them cups on motherfuckers.
Exactly. I was like, this is an amazing idea.
Don't you want your kids to love you?
Here I think I'm fighting the man. I'm like, yes, you know, you'll get it like cheaper next time you come. And really they're like, yes, he's selling the stupid cup.
Was it what theater was it? Was it AMC or
It was Regal.
Regal. Yeah, that's what we have here that we still have. Yeah.
It's been bought out by like 6 different companies since then. It hasn't been a Regal in like forever, but it was when I was working there.
Oh my God, dude. The theater you and I went to in college
AMC.
is going to be a medical center now.
At least they're finally doing something with that building. It was there was 24 screens there, and that's just been sitting empty since the COVID. Yeah, massive.
Look at it on Google Maps; it's so huge. And but hey, the Unos is going to stay there, so rock and roll.
That's good. I mean, because that was such a problem. It was dragging down the businesses around it because, you know, like the Di Lorenzo's went out of business because, you know, like how many people only went to the the pizzeria because they were going to go see a movie, you know, and when that foot traffic left, so did like it was like the local economy got sucked down by the
It was the
absence of
anchor,
movie theater.
it was it was the big thing that all these little satellite things sprung up around exactly for that reason. And then the theater's gone, and it's just these little shitholes that are on a giant stretch of empty highway that no one's going to go out of their way to go to. Like,
so yes, when I talk about like, it's not such a bad thing that the movie theater goes away. Yes, there's going to be some economic pain around that, and that's a problem. Like a lot of jobs will be lost because
well, maybe they'll just
experience
start
goes away.
opening Top Golfs everywhere.
Maybe. What is it? Rest in peace, movie theater experience. Long live movie theater experience.
There you go.
Whenever you say that.
All right, one last thing. What is there any movie from our youth or any just older movie that you haven't seen in theaters that you would like to before they're gone?
Yes.
What springs to mind?
I would love to see The Silence of the Lambs theatrically.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call. I have never, yeah.
I've seen every other shitty movie in that franchise theatrically.
Yeah, they are.
Not to say they're all shitty, but they're shitty.
Have you seen Manhunter in the
theater?
theater? Have you seen Manhunter in the theater?
You know what? I have not.
Okay.
That's fair. I did not see Manhunter.
Well, that
in the
doesn't.
theaters.
That's a bit separate. A little
bit.
But,
I mean, I would say at the time it was absolutely connected, and now
I
it's
knew what you
separate.
meant, though. I knew what you meant. Oh wow, that's a good one, man. That's a good one. Okay, if I could pick what I got to see at a drive-in movie theater, this is really lame, but I think I would have to make it Rambo 3, because I actually saw that in a drive-in when I was a kid for the first time.
Nice.
And we got there late, and I missed the stick fighting thing in the beginning. I didn't know that existed until it came out on tape. That's a boring choice, but oh god.
I mean, I would love to see Pulp Fiction in theaters. Since we shit on Quentin Tarantino before, I'll give him his props and his due.
His
there
catalog,
are movies of his that I really love.
Of his catalog, I would really like to see that in the theater. Yeah. I would like to see The Godfather. I think the original, just the original Godfather, the whole length.
Or two.
Yeah, either one, but yeah, just the first one. I'm sure it has come back into theaters, but I just haven't.
For sure.
The opportunity, but maybe on its 70th anniversary or whatever we're coming up on, they'll put it back out again. Then I'll have to look for it. Got to be on
50, right? 70s, 89.
It was 76, I think 77.
50
it came
years,
out.
yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's terrifying.
Yeah, but I don't know that I could do a Godfather movie theatrically just because of how long it is these days. Yeah.
Well, no longer than a Marvel movie.
Oh, it's absolutely longer than a Marvel movie.
The first one only runs like 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
You can do that. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So if there's any movie theaters still standing when an important Godfather anniversary comes back around, we'll sneak some spaghetti in some Ziploc bags, and we'll go see it.
There you go.
All right. Cool. It's a date.
Maybe some wine.
All right. Yeah, I keep seeing these coats on Instagram that you can fill up with wine, the puffy coat.
Yes. Do it classy.
Classy like that. Class.